Hello everyone, Matt Hoots with SawHorse. Welcome to another episode of Hometalk. And today I'm going to teach you how to craft a Minecraft crafting table for crafts. The first thing I did to prep for this is I cut some MDF squares that are 16 inches wide. And I'm going to first assemble all of these and create the cube for the crafting table. All right, let's get started. To prep for this, I cut 5 pieces of MDF that are 16 inches wide, and to make them easier to assemble, I've got one piece that has 4 45-degree bevels, so we've got 4 beveled edges on this one. I've got 4 pieces that have 3 sides that have a 45-degree bevel, and the other one is just a straight cut. Again, these are all 16 inches wide on the widest part, and then I've got one extra piece that I cut just a little bit smaller for the door that we're going to put onto here. So the first thing I want to do is take the one piece that has 4 beveled edges, and I tried to come up with a design that was very easy to assemble without having to use a lot of nail guns and other tools. So simply using masking tape and glue, we're going to be able to pull this together. So I'm going to put this masking tape on about where it covers up only half of the tape, and I'm going to put this on all 4 sides, leaving at least an inch hangover on it. And you can use any type of tape. I just chose masking tape, and for this project I tried to use materials that I had lying around the house. And when we get to the coloring part of this, why I chose which materials. And again, I don't want you to go into the store buying a lot of things. This is a very simple design, and you can adapt it to the materials that you already have. I chose MDF mainly because of the base color. It's going to work really well for this crafting table. And for those of you who don't know what Minecraft is, it's a very popular video game. And my son asked me to play Minecraft with him, and I said, you know what, we can play Minecraft, but how about we make a crafting table instead? And a crafting table is one of the objects that they make in Minecraft. And this particular one is going to hold as art supplies, arts and crafts. All right, so I've got all the pieces of tape on here. What I'm going to do now is flip it over so the sticky side is up. And I'm going to take the pieces that I've pre-cut. Now you've got 3 sides that have the bevel on it. The middle bevel is going to go down first. So let me get these out of the way. And we're going to put this on all 4 sides, push down of the centerpiece. Now, I definitely recommend using this on a wide table. So otherwise, you're not going to have a lot of room to work. And you could possibly do this on the floor as well. All right, so we've got 2 pieces on there, and the tape's holding very well. Again, don't forget to use the middle part of each of these and push down firmly. And I've got one more, and then we're going to add some wood glue. So this makes for a very easy assembly. And by pre-taping this, it also helps contains the glue that we're going to put on here in a second. All right, so I've got these pieces put together. I'm going to use some Titebond glue, and you can use any of the Titebonds, 1, 2, or 3. I'm using 3 because it's just what I happen to have right now from some other projects. I'm going to put the glue on one side. And again, you don't want to put too much on, but it doesn't really matter because the tape's going to contain it. And we're going to do some light sanding after this dries. All right, now that I've got the glue in here, we're going to start folding these up on each of the sides. And so on this piece, as we fold this up, the 2 45-degree cuts that we put in place come together and the glue gets squeezed together. So before I fold this side up, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this side. So when it joins in place up here to this other one, makes a nice tight bond. And again, we're not using a nail gun for this particular project, where you're definitely more than welcome to. MDF is a very peculiar material, and because it's a dense fiberboard, it doesn't really nail together very well without having to do a lot of prep work afterwards. And the goal for this was to make a few cuts, tape it together, and then once the glue dries, we can start working on the decor on it. And for the sixth thigh that we have not put on yet, that is going to be the door. So the goal here is to create this cube that looks like the crafting table in Minecraft, but also have access to the inside. And the Minecraft version does not have access to the inside. It's just a table where you make other objects. But I wanted this to be a fun storage opportunity as well for crafting. All right, everyone, we've got all 5 pieces glued together, and I've got a nice tight bond, and I went ahead and sanded the edges off so everything is smooth. There is a little bit of extra glue on it, but it doesn't matter because we're going to stain on top of that. And while I was waiting for the glue to dry, I did something pretty exciting. I installed a door on the front of this. Now, if you look at it, this door does not, I try to make this fun and exciting for the kids. This door does not have a handle. I've got 2 hinges on the side over here, and this is just like in Minecraft. In Minecraft, you have something called a pressure plate, and when you put pressure on it, it opens. So the same thing with this door. This Minecraft crafting table has a pressure plate. So if you or your kids or grandkids have played Minecraft, you've probably noticed that the resolution is not the highest. It's not a high resolution game, which means it's very pixelated. So this is actually supposed to look like a block. Now we have other blocks that are in the game. You have granite, you have grass, you have dirt, but this is just the crafting table, and all the blocks are the same size. And each block is made up of a bunch of small pixels. So again, it's not high resolution. And what I did for this particular one is I mapped out the pixels. So I had my sons do a screenshot of a crafting table within the game of Minecraft, and I closely color matched these with some stains that you can buy at Home Depot or Lowe's or Sherwin-Williams or Ace Hardware, and these are readily available to put the stain on the box. Now, when I first color matched all these, I came up with close to 30 different colors, which I thought was pretty interesting and fun. However, a little bit too much for a project like this, so I tried to narrow it down to 10 colors, and I was actually able to use stains that I already had at my house from leftover projects. So let's go over how this works. So I've got a grid pattern right here, and this grid is 16 by 16. So the first thing I'm going to do on all of these sides is mark out just on the edges little dots so I can measure 16 inches. So what I'm going to do is create an outline of each stain pattern, and most of these blocks have multiple colors next to each other. So if that's the case, I'm just going to mark out that full block. That way when we paint or stain it, we don't see the pencil marks in between. So the first thing I'm going to do is outline one of the edges here, and I'm going to use the speed square to do that. So since this one is 4 wide this way and 4 long this way, but it's only 1 deep, I'm going to mark it exactly 1 inch deep to the 1 inch mark right here. Same thing on this side, start out at the 4. And then I'm going to use this grid mark right here to mark right at 1 inch. And the same thing on this side. All right, I've got the grid and everything lined up for the top part. So this is essentially color by the numbers now, or paint by the numbers. And we're going to be using wood stains and some paints. And again, most of these are paints that are found around my house. So I'm going to start with this section, this section, this section, this section, and these squares right here. Those are all identified as the same color, or at least made it the same color in my scheme because I thought they were close enough. And be very careful with this one not to get it into this section right here, because this is going to be left natural. We're not going to paint that at all. And if you don't trust your painting skills, you can always just put some tape down so you can cut it in a lot easier. Okay, now that I have all of the classic black put in place, I'm going to put some of the brown, and the brown's going to go on these dots right here and also in the middle. And what I chose for this, I found a Rust-Oleum primer that I had left over from a project, and it actually matched up pretty well with the brown that we're trying to do. We've got all the brown painted on all the little dots, and now I'm going to come back and go and highlight the outer edge. And again, we're just adding another layer of polyurethane to this to give it a different sheen and a different color. All right, the top's dry, so we're going to go ahead and start marking out some of the sides. I'm going to mark out all the sides all at one time, and then we'll start painting the different sides. So the first pattern that I'm going to use is the pattern that has the shears on it. So I'm going to mark that on the top, and then on the bottom. Actually, this is the top, and I'm marking on this side and on the opposite side. And then I'm going to use the one with the hammer and the saw on the side that has the door, and the one opposite of the door. So this is actually going to go much faster than the top, because the top, I wasn't using the color of the natural MDF. So a lot of these larger squares right here, we're not going to paint those at all. We're just going to use the natural color of the MDF, so it's going to go much faster. We're going to have some of the same colors. So the black that we used are going to go along the side. We've also got these ones right here. These little squares are going to be black. The brown, that Rust-Oleum that we use, we're going to use right here, 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 and then up in the top. And then everything else, we're going to have these stripes in between the black and the middle part. And we're going to stain one solid color. They're going to come on top of it and do another color just to give it that effect of having that pixelation on it, so it's not just one color throughout. All right, everyone, I've got all four sides laid out, and essentially this is just color by the numbers, and we're almost done. So I'm going to finish coloring all the different squares using the same color palette that we used on the top, and I'm going to add a couple extra colors to the sides because we just want to create a couple new variations on these colors. Finish doing all four sides. I'm going to add something to the bottom, and then we are almost done. All right, now I've got all five sides painted. I've got the top, I've got the two sides that are painted with the clippers, and I've got the two sides painted, one with the door, and the other one that's not the door on the opposite side has the saw and the hammer on it. And I've got these graphs already created for your benefit down in the comment section. We have a link so you can get access to that. And there's 3 different pages. Remember, the first one is for the top, and I've got a color code for the one at the top, just telling you which colors go well where. Colonial maple plus a sealer, just raw MDF, whatnot. So that way you can color match and see what I came up with. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to use these colors. As you can see, the colors that I chose pretty closely resemble a real Minecraft block. While I was waiting for the paint to dry, I also added these heavy duty felt pads underneath on 4 sides. That way they don't scratch the furniture. And also I plan to make more of these in this modular format. Remember, this is 16 by 16. We've got 1 inch per pixel. And I'm going to make a granite block a little bit later for my son. So these can stack up, and we can make, 10, 5, 100 of these and create a whole wall of these if we choose to do so. Now, some of these I want to make as solid blocks. On this one, I decided to make it as a crafting table where I can put crafts inside of it. In other ones, you can make bookshelves out of this. But to keep it simple, the 1 inch per pixel worked out really well. And now here's the true test. Let's see if my 8-year-old recognizes what this is. All right, let's call him and see what he says. Hey Matthew, I've got a surprise for you. Come check out this crafting table. All right, what do you think, buddy? What does this look like?
Real Minecraft crafting table.
It's a real Minecraft crafting table. Guess what else you can do with this? You can store your crafts in here. So you can put all your markers, pens, and papers and whatnot. Or you can make lots of cool things. Are you a good crafter?
Yes.
Are you a good Minecrafter?
Yes.
Oh, of course you are. All right. Thanks again for watching this episode of Home Talk, and for your convenience, we've uploaded, we've got some screenshots of the patterns. That way you don't have to figure it out yourself like I did. One at the top, and I've got 2 different patterns for the sides. And I really do appreciate you watching this. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow my channel, and you can see more episodes just like this on Hometalk TV. All right, see you next time.
Oh, this is a cool crafting table. And this is how it opens. And I put some of my stuff in there. And it clicks like this, and it clicks back because of that thing in there.